All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Financial Friends. We are nearing the end of 2021, and yes, I know you're probably sick of this end of the year content that continues to come out. However, this is the last one, I promise. So I do ask just before the video starts if you can go ahead and give this video a like, or maybe comment or subscribe or something like that. That is much appreciated. It helps me get this message and everything we're trying to do here at Financial Friends out to more people. So I really appreciate that. But without further ado, we are going to dive into my 2022 investing goals. Now, you might think, okay, I already talked about this. It's a little bit different. That first episode on this past Tuesday was more, it was kind of tailored towards dividend investing and the specific goals to the dividend portfolio. And then in a podcast, which was released last Sunday, if you haven't seen that, definitely go, or listen to that rather. Go ahead and listen to that. It is, it's all my goals, kind of like my personal goals, Financial Friends goals as a whole. This video is different. It's going to be specific to my investing goals. Let's just dive right into it without further ado. So here we go. So the first one, as you can see, let's go over all of them. The first one is the net worth of $32,500, which at this point in time is about an increase of $7,500. 80% of new investments into ETFs, and I want to reallocate some stocks and shrink down my positions to about 20 or so, which is down 6 from this current point. I have about 26 positions. So let's evaluate each one sort of individually and kind of why I have it and how I think it's going to help me throughout this new year. So the first thing is the net worth of $32,500. Why do I have that? Well, I'm in the very infant stages of investing, the infant stages of building my wealth. And so I think that these numeric goals kind of help drive me to continue. A lot of people, as they start to, climb the ranks and get wealth that's able to compound itself, they quit with the exact numbers because they realize they love their work, they love what they're doing, they have a passion for building this wealth up. I have all of that, but these goals help drive and motivate me a little bit extra. Maybe if I'm thinking of buying a new pair of shoes or buying something else, I might invest that money instead because I know I'm that much closer to my goal. And so far in 2021, I have managed to hit my first ever net worth goal, which was $25,000. So obviously that is an increase of $7,500, the $32,500. So I'm very excited to try and reach this, and I think that setting these goals, but keeping them somewhat reasonable is good. You don't want to get yourself too down on not hitting a goal. You also don't want to set a goal that's way too easy and just blow it out of the water, and then you're left kind of twiddling your thumbs. So I think that this 7,500 increase is pretty good. I'm not really sure what the market's going to do that year. Whatever the market does do this year is going to have a pretty big impact because a ton of my wealth is in stocks, as well as I'm paying for school. So, I have a good cash position right now that's going to just continue to kind of dwindle every time I make a payment and then go up a little bit every time I save some more money towards it. So the net worth goal of an increase of 7,500 is relatively reasonable, but it's going to continue to make me, drive and push myself towards that goal. The next one is 80% of new investments into ETFs. Now, why is this even a thing? Mainly because I got away from that. This year I started creating content, posting YouTube videos, writing, these blog sort of posts on public, on investing in new things and researching new things and finding these other ideas to post about, write about, invest in became very exciting to me. However, the base of my investing, the way that I, came into all this investing was tracking the market, broad market ETFs, broad market index funds, these very boring investments. And as I shifted from really sort of ETFs to a little bit more focused on high growth, but continuing those ETF investments to dividend investing, and now I'm kind of here in this weird space of I'm heavy on ETFs. That's what I believe in. I have some good positions in high growth companies that I do believe in, but they're not necessarily my core idea of investing anymore. And then dividend positions. So what am I going to do? I'm going to keep putting money into ETFs, but I'm also going to reallocate some positions, but we're going to get into that in a second. But I'm going to make sure that I treat what I started with respect, and I continue to invest in these ETFs. That's really what I want to do. That's really what's going to grow my wealth. And so I want to make sure in this new year I stay focused on that. And so I've set this goal of keeping 80% of my new investments, so any money I'm putting in throughout 2022, towards ETFs. And that can be something as simple as, keeping track of obviously every single penny I invest and making sure that it gets up to that 80% by the end of the year, or just splitting any cash I'm going to invest 80-20, and I can put 80% right into ETFs and the other 20% into another position. So that's something I'm going to really keep an eye out for. I think a ton of other investors, could potentially use this in some way or another. Maybe you're a really core dividend investor and you've gotten away from that. Maybe you're a high growth investor and you've gotten away from that. Maybe you're a value investor and you've gotten away from that. Really see what you want to do, what direction you want to take your portfolio, and make some type of goal that's tailored towards that so you can really, get back onto track and get back to doing what you love to do, or just get back to what you've gotten away from. All right. And so the last one leads right into this, and that's why I'm going to try and reallocate my stocks, or maybe shrink back down to around 20 positions, which, like I mentioned earlier, currently I'm at 26. So that's going to be subtracting 6 whole positions from my portfolio. Now, this is one that I'm really going to not hold myself to, definitively. And the reason for that is because not all positions should be exited just because you make a goal. Not all should be entered just because you have some goal. There really should be a reason behind each one, and so I'm going to make sure I find that reason. Something I did earlier this year, and I hadn't really talked about it too much, was I had a position in ARKK, or ARK, one of Kathy Wood's funds, and it just wasn't something that aligned with, my purpose, my goal, what I really at my core believed. It was fluctuating up and down. I ended up selling at a very, very small loss. If I would have held on for a little bit, I probably could have eked out some small gain, but it wasn't a big deal to me. I took my cash and I reallocated it to Google stock, something I believe in, something that everyone in this world uses constantly, something you're using right now watching this video on YouTube. And that's how I like to invest. I like to invest in companies people use and companies that people cannot live without. And so I want to get back to that core idea through ETFs and through individual investments that fit that criteria. And there's a few that I have in my portfolio that just really don't, and a few in my portfolio I was kind of testing out and potentially going to exit out of. So I will definitely make sure to make those videos, where I'm taking funds out of and where I'm putting them, and maybe that can kind of be a little series over the course of this year where I exit a position, talk about why I exited, what I was thinking when doing that, and then where I'm putting those funds or where I think they will be best fit. So those are my 3 goals. I know this was a bit talkative of an episode, a little bit different than, showing some visual things and or making some investments or whatever, but I do appreciate you watching. I hope that you're able to gain something from kind of seeing my thought process behind investing and really what I'm trying to do throughout 2022. I cannot wait to continue to post more videos and continue to put out content for you guys who are watching. And if you're still watching, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. If you would have hit it in the beginning of the episode, you wouldn't have to do anything now. I'm just saying. But I really do appreciate all of you watching. I appreciate all of the support, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day.